John Lee Real Estate, find you the best rates. All throughout Philly like Schuylkill Expressway. Talking to people who out of...
So do you guys have any idea what the hell is actually happening in your local real estate market right now? In about less than 10 minutes, hopefully 10 minutes, I'm going to break down Philadelphia, Bucks County, Montgomery County, Chester County, and Delaware County. So you know exactly what's happening in each market, what it actually means if you're thinking about buying or selling. So let's get into it. If you've been watching the news lately, you've probably heard every headline imaginable. The housing market is cooling, inventory is finally coming back, and buyers have the advantage. Then you go to an open house in Bucks County and there are 40 people walking through the front door. You submit what you think is a great offer and you find out there are 5 other offers. So naturally you're sitting there wondering, what market are these people talking about? So here is the actual truth. There is no national housing market, honestly. There isn't even one greater Philadelphia housing market. Philadelphia is different from Bucks County. Bucks County is different from Montgomery County. Montgomery County is different from Chester County. And Delaware County has its own story too. So even inside each county, every market is different. A home in Ambler behaves differently than a home in Norristown. A home in Bluebell behaves differently than one in Willow Grove. Here in these markets or these sub-markets, the school district really matters, the location matters, the condition matters, the price range matters sometimes. The street itself matters. So today I want to give you a quick reality check on all 5 counties. We'll talk about prices, how quickly homes are selling, and who has the leverage, and what all this actually means if you're planning to make a move. So let's start with Philly, right? The actual Philadelphia County. Philadelphia is probably the closest thing we have to what I would say a balanced market right now. Median home prices are sitting around $290,000 to $315,000. Prices are still up about 3.5% from last year, and homes are taking roughly about 45 to 49 days to sell. And inventory is sitting around 3.5 months. So what the heck does all of this mean, right? If you're buying in Philly, you can breathe. You might actually have time to think. You can probably keep your inspection. You may even be able to negotiate repairs or seller concessions. That's very different from what we're seeing in most suburban counties. Don't misunderstand me. Philadelphia isn't one giant market either. A turnkey home in Fishtown or Northern Liberties can still sell fast, but overall, buyers have a lot more leverage in the city than they do outside of the city. Next one up, Bucks County. Now, let's talk about Bucks County. This is still one of the hottest markets in our area. Median prices are sitting around $510,000 to $538,000. Prices are up roughly 8% from last year. Homes are selling in about 2 weeks, and inventory, it's just over 1 month. That's incredibly low. A balanced market usually has somewhere around 4 to 6 months of inventory. So yes, Bucks County is still very much a seller's market. And why? Because everyone wants the same house. They want 4 bedrooms, an updated kitchen, a finished basement, a nice backyard, good schools, a quiet street, close to everything. The problem is, so does everyone else. That's why buyers have to decide where they're willing to compromise. Maybe it is the kitchen. Maybe it is the size. Maybe it's the commute. But if you wait for the perfect house, you might be waiting for a long time. Now, Montgomery County. Montgomery County is probably the county I spend the most time in. Median prices are roughly $455,000 to $485,000. Homes are selling in about 11 to 21 days. Inventory is just over 1 month. So yes, it's still a seller's market, but here's the important part. It's actually a selective seller's market. The right homes sell fast. The wrong homes actually sit. I recently listed a home in Willow Grove, 5 bedrooms, listed at $469,000. We went under contract in 3 days. People see that on social media and think, wow, houses are just selling fast, right? But no, there was a lot of work before that sign ever went in the yard. We studied the comps, we looked at the competition, we prepped the home, we built a marketing plan, and we priced it strategically. Not emotionally, that's what created the activity. The biggest mistake sellers make today is thinking low inventory means they can ask whatever they want. It doesn't. Buyers are still willing to pay. They're just not willing to overpay. Chester County. Now let's move over to Chester County. Median prices are around $537,000. Prices are up over 7%. Homes are selling in about a week. That's incredibly fast. People love Chester County. Very strong schools, beautiful communities, newer homes, and larger lots. But affordability is becoming a real issue. When you're buying a home over $500,000 at today's interest rates, your monthly payment gets big really fast. That's why I always tell buyers, don't ask your lender, what can I qualify for? Ask yourself, what payment actually fits my life? There's a big difference. Delaware County, finally. Delaware County, median prices are around $343,000. Homes are selling in about 13 days. This has become a great option for buyers who feel priced out of Bucks, Montgomery, or Chester County. You can often buy more house for less money, but don't make the mistake of thinking cheaper automatically means better. You still have to evaluate the neighborhood, the taxes, the school district, the condition, the resale potential. The numbers still have to make sense. So what's the takeaway? Here's what I want you to remember. Philadelphia is giving buyers more breathing room. Delaware County is becoming one of the better values in the suburbs. Montgomery County is rewarding homes that are priced correctly. Bucks County continues to be incredibly competitive, and Chester County remains one of the fastest moving markets in our region. But here's the biggest lesson. Stop making real estate decisions based on national headlines. Your county actually matters. Your township matters. Your neighborhood matters. The street you live on matters. And honestly, your house matters. Every market behaves differently. That's why I always tell people real estate isn't national. It isn't even countrywide. It's property by property. If you're thinking about buying or selling or investing anywhere in Philadelphia, Bucks County, Montgomery County, Chester County, or Delaware County, I'd love to help. Reach out. Let's look at your specific situation. Let's look at your numbers, and let's build a strategy that actually makes sense for you.
John Lee Real Estate, find you the best rate. All throughout Philly like Schuylkill Expressway. Talking to people who out of